From the cradles of civilization to the 21st century, Aristotle and Sappho to Jane Goodall, Alvin Ailey, and Isabel Allende, great minds have changed the way we understand ourselves and the world we inhabit. Their momentous achievements have fostered energetic debates about the inner workings of the brain and human behavior, and about how we judge ingenuity in art, music, literature, science, medicine, and technology. What are the origins of genius? What makes a genius? What is a genius? This is inherently complicated terrain. Entire books, many of which informed my research, have attempted to explain human virtuosity. In these pages, I interpret the term with some degree of latitude. In certain cases, an individual's contributions are so immense and enduring that no other term seems sufficient. In others, the word acts more as an adjective, describing a breakthrough or piece of creative work. The innovation itself is genius, and the person who came up with it deserves ample recognition because of it. Philosophers have long pondered the origins of genius. Plato described inspiration as a gift from the gods, and likened the poet and prophet to an empty vessel filled with divine infusion, says historian Darren McMahon, author of Divine Fury, A History of Genius. Aristotelian thinkers, by contrast, attributed brilliance at least in part to biology, theorizing that an overabundance of black bile, one of the 4 bodily humors proposed by Hippocrates, endowed eminent souls with superior powers. Phrenologists attempted to find genius in bumps on the head. Craniometrists collected skulls, which they probed, measured, and weighed. Child prodigies, whose talent appears early in life, raise an eternally debated question: is genius born or made? In the 19th century, the polymath Francis Galton proposed that the trait was passed down through family bloodlines. He mapped the lineages of an array of European leaders in disparate fields, from Mozart and Haydn to Byron, Chaucer, Titus, and Napoleon, to make his case. In 1869, Galton published his findings in Hereditary Genius, a book that launched the nature versus nurture debate and also spurred the misbegotten field of eugenics. A century later, the focus shifted again, this time from pedigree to sweat equity. In a consequential 1993 study, psychologist Anders Ericsson and colleagues reported that the difference between elite and amateur musicians correlated strongly with how much time they spent in intensive study, or what Ericsson called deliberate practice. These findings spawned the popularized notion that 10,000 hours of serious practice can lead to expert performance, a formula that vastly oversimplified Ericsson's research, but was nonetheless seized upon by self-help gurus promising greatness in anyone determined enough to seek it. The reality almost certainly lies in between. Early ability engenders enthusiasm and drive, which leads to dedication and a desire to excel, a combination of nature and nurture. No one has discovered a single source of genius, and such a thing will almost certainly never be found. But genius captivates us because of the vast potential it reveals. How can we, biological organisms comprised of 37 trillion cells, map a pathway to the moon, compose symphonies, solve mathematical quandaries, write poetry, and design new wireless technologies, one more mind-boggling than the next? The subject of genius does not define the individuals in these pages. Instead, I use it as a framework to explore their lives through its core features: intelligence, creativity, perseverance, and luck. Although the 13 figures featured here differ in numerous ways, the eras in which they were born, the privileges and traumas they endured, the livelihoods they pursued, they share some combination of these characteristics, which have fostered their achievements and serve as common threads tying the first page to the last. Intelligence has long been measured by a standardized IQ test, which evaluates a person's ability to perform challenging cognitive tasks,
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.